So, I just got to see the brand new film Boy Kills World. The brand new film starring Bill Skarsgård, who plays a deaf, mute, action hero who's essentially out for revenge in this kind of weird dystopian, sort of weird country that's being ruled by this dynasty, this family that is pretty much evil throughout the whole film. They're kind of like just, you know, your typical Nazi-like bad guys. They run kind of a regime, a dictatorship in this country, and they have wronged Bill Skarsgård's character, so now he is out for total revenge. It's a very, very simple plot, but there's a small twist. Bill Skarsgård, because he is deaf and he is mute, how do you have him act? How do you have a voice? Well, you cast the guy that voices Archer, H. Jon Benjamin, to do the inner voice of Bill Skarsgård's character. So the whole movie, you are getting an inner monologue as we watch his journey through this world, and it makes for a very unique and funny experience. Now, this movie was one that I was actually kind of excited for. I thought the trailer kind of sold a really action-packed, fun movie that would be both funny and also just gory and gruesome and all the stuff that you want from an action movie like this. It looked kind of like a Deadpool movie in a way, kind of the vibes that those original Deadpool movies sort of gave. And I was pleasantly surprised watching this movie that it actually ended up being pretty much all of that. The movie, yet again, is very simple. There's this boy, you're told at the start of the movie he's been wronged by this weird dictatorship dynasty and this main chick who runs the dynasty. He lost something that I'm not going to spoil, and now he wants to go and he wants to get revenge, and that's pretty much what this movie is. There are twists and turns throughout. There are some twists near the end of the movie that are absurdly predictable from like the moment the movie starts. You can kind of pick apart that that's probably going to happen, and then wow, it happens. But at the end of the day, you're coming here for a fun action movie, and you get that. A lot of the set pieces you get in this movie from early on throughout the whole film are really unique. There's one near like the middle of the movie that takes place kind of like on this TV set, and there's a bunch of crazy weird shit going on. The kills were crazy, all the fights here, it was just awesome stuff. It got very creative. Much of the stuff in the third act I also thought was cool. This movie does have a shaky cam problem. A lot of the action scenes, there's moments where you just can't really decipher what's going on, and I just hate that. I don't know why we can't get more steady cam. There are movies that do it and do it extremely well. Out there, big action movies, John Wick for the most part, a lot of those movies have really steady cam, you know, centric action scenes. This movie, a lot of shaky cam. When there's no shaky cam, it's great. All the characters are fine. Bill Skarsgård, obviously in this role, he sells the physical essence of what he's trying to do here and what he had to do here, and the boy is an interesting enough character to follow along with. You get into his revenge story, you understand his motives, and you kind of, there's an innocence to him that you also like. It's this boy who's never really been, you know, matured or grown up a normal way, so he's still kind of a boy, and that makes for a very funny experience when he's going through these different scenarios that, you know, he's interacting with mature people. You also get Jessica Roth, who plays a character called June 27. I won't go too into this character because it's very intricate to the plot, but she is awesome and badass, and I like her design. She kind of wears this helmet, and she talks through the top of the helmet. That was cool to me. And a lot of the production stuff around building this world I thought was cool. They built a pretty unique and interesting world that I kind of want to go more into. I'm a sucker for world building, like in anything, and anytime you could build a very different and interesting world outside of our own, I'm interested to see the history of it. How did it get this way? Why do these people listen to these dickhead dictators? Like, what's going on here? One of the ways they accomplish this is by having pretty interesting characters as the Van der Kooi family, this evil dictatorship. You obviously have the head member, whose name is Hilda Van der Kooi. She's the main villain of the movie, and she is the least interesting of all these characters. She's not interesting at all. She's actually probably the worst part of the movie. She's just not an intimidating villain, and when she appears, it's just kind of a letdown almost. There's another character, Melaine Van der Kooi, a character that I thought was the main villain of the story until the middle of the movie, where it's like, no, she's not. She's just another member of this family. She's terrifying and creepy and is having so much fun in the role. She's really good here. That's a great character for the plot and kind of builds out why this family, why people just kind of hate them. They're dicks. Brett Gelman plays a character called Gideon. He's another member of the family. He is also awesome. He's awesome in everything that he's in. Great actor, and he also sells why this family is just a bunch of dicks extremely well. Sharlto Copley plays a character named Glenn, another member of the family, and he is hilarious, but for some reason, the whole time I was watching this, I just kept thinking to myself, that should have been Bob Odenkirk. I don't know why, but it's just what I felt. As this movie goes through its plot, though, of essentially confronting each and every one of these family members and going through these big, epic action scenes, it eventually builds up to a third act that tries to be more story-centric, and it gets into what the movie's actually trying to say about these characters and what's actually going on here. And when that happened, I just thought the twist, as I had said earlier, was so predictable that it didn't hit the way that I think the filmmakers intended it to hit. There is some emotion there that is nicely felt, some family moments, some good heartfelt stuff, but at the end of the day, it just kind of took a predictable twist, and the characters with that it was twisting with were probably the least interesting characters the entire movie had to offer. Therefore, when it got into the final fight, I didn't care as much as I had about an hour before. Also, there are some characters in this movie that just appear and then disappear and then reappear and then disappear again later. It's just kind of weird how some like the assistant characters, I don't know, just wasn't a fan of that. But overall, I enjoyed this movie. This is one that I would actually like to see kind of a follow-up to, a sequel, just because I think the world is cool. Are we going to get that? I don't know. I guess we'll see how this movie does. You don't really need to make one, but fuck it. It's a movie that I enjoyed probably more than I should have, and it's also a movie that I think could have still been better. I think there are aspects of this that could have been a lot better, but at the end of the day, it's a really fun action movie that if you're a fan of these big, gory, action set-piece heavy movies, you're gonna enjoy this one. If you like Bill Skarsgård, got some Bill Skarsgård stuff here. This movie looks great. It's one of, like, 2 action movies he's making this year, because he's also got that weird remake of The Crow. This is a solid movie. It's a nice little hit, and yeah, I'd recommend it. I will give Boy Kills World a 3 out of 5. It is a good movie. Also, I love the title, Boy Kills World. It's a great title. It has no relation to Boy Meets World, but hey, who cares? That would be a fascinating, like, crossover, though. Let's do Boy Meets World meets Boy Kills World. Kills Boy Meets World. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of the movie down below. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe for more. Click on the video on your screen right now to see more. I'll see you guys in the next one.